The Texas weather discussion video. This is for Friday, the 8th day of February. I'm Donovan Neal. After a short cold front that moved through, temperatures are basically in a hard freeze this morning. A light wintry mix is possible later this evening before we transition to the weekend, which will be mostly cloudy, very chilly, and also relatively wet. So let's go ahead and check things out here. This is the upper air look across the continental United States. You can see we have that very cold core trough basically moving right on top of us early this morning. You can see as a result of that, temperatures mostly in the low to mid 20s. Arlington 26, DFW 24, even towards Seymour 20. This is by far the coldest air that we've seen this season. And we don't really warm much. Our high will actually be in the upper 30s. I say around 40 degrees. So get used to chilly weather this for today and the weekend. Around the nation, much of the coldest air really up north, starting their day in the negative 20 in negative 20s for parts of North Dakota and Montana. Across the watch warning map, we have winter weather advisories for parts of the northwestern United States near the Pacific Northwest, even some parts of the Great Lakes states, and even some wind advisories for parts of the northeastern United States. But down here in the south, we remain pretty quiet. On the convective outlooks, and no organized severe weather is expected later today. Maybe some thunder for parts of California, but that's really about it. And this will basically be the same for the weekend. Average precipitation for the next 7 days, valid through Friday morning of next week. Heaviest totals remain off in Northern California, and down here, anything that we see, basically anything that we see this weekend will most likely stay under 1 inch unless you go off to the east. So let's go on to the model. I'll put this to the O6Z run to the GFS, followed this afternoon at noon today. You can see we have that trough lifting off to the northeast, but down below that temperature, we have that new surge of cold air. So of course, we'll stay basically below the 40-degree range, and as I've talked about before, there is potential that we could see a very light wintry mix as depicted by our mesoscale models. This is our 3-kilometer NAM, valid as of 6 p.m. Local time. You can see we have that rain transitioning into a light wintry mix starting from the south, and you can see that some of it's actually depicting as snow, which I barely believe. I think some of that if any of that, will most likely be light sleet, and then we'll have some ice pellets as we transition into the overnight hours. I do think coding to some light accumulation is possible, but I don't expect any major travel issues. So if you're expecting a big winter storm, well, not this time, but we will. There is potential that we could get some light wintry mix. I say the best chance of a spot getting wintry mix this afternoon will most likely be in the 30 to 40% bracket. Saturday for the weekend, we do clear. Mostly cloudy skies, though. Highs mostly in the low 40s, and we start the day in the upper 20s. Very similar today to today, but up a couple of degrees. And Sunday, we have another storm system that's starting to develop, and as a result of that, we'll mention the chance of afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms on Sunday, with highs in the upper 40s and morning lows in the upper 30s. And here's Monday of next week. That storm system starts to move through. Again, we'll mention the chance of scattered showers mainly during the morning hours. We do warm substantially, though, which is a good thing. Highs mostly in the low 60s. And here's Tuesday. That storm system moves off to the east. We remain dry. We become partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 50s. And look at those snows for places like Green Bay, Wisconsin, Des Moines, Iowa, and places like Minneapolis, St. Paul. But down here, we remain solidly dry. And here's Wednesday, pretty much the same deal. Highs partly cloudy, highs mostly in the upper 50s with a mix of sun and clouds. Same thing on Thursday. In a week from today, Friday the 15th day of February, we kind of have a pattern flip here. We have trough in the east, ridge in the west. And down here, that looks like we avoid another surge of cold air, but we stay solidly in the mid 60s, which will feel very, very good. Here's 10 days. The next 10 days. This is Monday the 18th of February. You can see we have a little bit of a ridge here, and down here, as a result, we stay dry. But you can see for the numbers for the next 15 days coming off the European ensemble, highs mostly stay in the 40s for today and the weekend, but then we quickly spike to the 60s as we transition into this week, and then the rest of late February, we'll mostly ride it out with highs mostly in the mid 50s to the mid to upper 60s, and with morning lows in the 40s, with the 40 to 50 degree range. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. More notes in the blog. My next video will be posted at around 7 a.m. Monday morning. If you can't catch local TV stations on the air this afternoon at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great weekend, and Godspeed.